Good morning, Tony Datino, doing my Live with Tony broadcast with a bit of sadness and a little bit of weight hanging over me. Ed Pinson, who is my son-in-law, passed away yesterday. He has been dealing with a many years of battling cancer, and chemo that he's going through right now has just wiped him out. And his heart gave way on him and just passed away yesterday. So it's with a little bit of a heavy heart that I do this broadcast, and I just can't say enough about the emails and the condolences and the deepest sympathies from people. And hearing his voice at the USA Memory Championship and the instructions that he gave out and the rigidness that he set to make the USA Memory Championship such an amazing competition and just so well run and organized between Ed Pinson and his wife Karen Pinson. And Karen is going about doing all the arrangements that they need to be doing. He was a veteran, so he will be sent off to Arlington Cemetery, though I found out this morning that could be months into the future. But Karen is working on those arrangements today. So it came a little bit faster than we were expecting and anticipating. I was actually here in New York for my granddaughter's graduation this Friday, and that's not going. She's still going to have a graduation, but she's just not going to be physically there. Well, today's broadcast, if I may give you some of the nuggets and tips for people that are in the senior ages, and I say seniors now, I'm going to define as 50 and above, and continuing to read the pieces of this great article that I saw about supercharging your brain. And this one's going to talk about what do we do with older adults. And it talks about keep learning and claim your mastery. So we're going to keep learning. We keep talking about the importance of lifelong learning and to continue to bring learning into your brain, because what we are learning more and more, what we're finding and discovering more and more in research is that our brains are like muscles. They're like muscles. Doctors don't like this when we talk about the brain is like a muscle, but it is, because the more you exercise it, meaning you challenge it and you work to solve problems, the more you physically exercise your body and you're telling your body to your brain that this body's alive and well and consistently growing and developing and continues to do so, are all wonderful things. And so here they have brain tips for older adults in this section of the article. And so the first thing they talk about is learning by choosing classes, reading, traveling. They talk about traveling again as such an important element because it gets you out to explore and see different things, meet different people, socialize in different levels, exploring things. Here they added new hobbies. Find some new hobbies and maybe an avocation of something you've always wanted to do that you just never did while you were going through college and raising a family, or going through your early career development stages. But find an avocation that maybe you want to do and make that a hobby. Learn something, some new skills, and become an expert in teaching it to others. I know years ago, as I was learning to do some of the work I did, I went to a few churches and Boy Scout camps, and a couple of churches and Boy Scouts, and wound up teaching some of the things I do today to folks at the community bingo hall. So they were there for bingo, but they got a dose of Tony Datino for 30 minutes before it, and also Boy Scouts. So how did we link Boy Scouts and teach them some things, and then link the two together? So create new hobbies or new ways of taking what you've learned up here and sharing it with other people, and possibly it's students or other seniors. Movement, we don't stop with the movement, no matter what the age is. I met a guru of exercise yesterday, and he said my father lived almost to 100, and his key was constantly moving. He was always moving. He was never sitting down much for watching television, but was always on the go, always walking or engaged in some physical activities. And so the exercise guru basically says exercise, the science, the studies I've done at university completely confirmed to me that physical movement, Some aerobic activity is walking, and we're not talking about running. So we don't need to be marathon races if we're going to be walking uh, and getting a benefit from it. Walking after dinner, reading recently, walking after dinner for 10 minutes helps you process some of the glucose and the sugars through your bloodstreams. A very, very good thing. So movement continues to be the thing. Doing some mild, I always say people just get a couple of water bottles and just move that, do a couple of squats, get up from a chair without you holding on to the sides. Just get those legs, walk up and down a few flights of steps. And if you don't have any, just go find a step somewhere or a curb and just go up and down the curb a few times. And then lastly, do some flexibility. So whether we do yoga or some of the other flexibility exercises, really, really helpful. Next, we talk about achieving and getting a good sleep. Okay, working to get 6 to 8 hours of daily sleep. And again, the sleeping is crucial, especially the deep sleep, because that helps us get to removing the toxins that are from our body. So, and now I recognize there are some nights, and we all know we need to get sleep, but the more we sometimes stress over sleep, the worse it gets. So we get more stressful about it. Don't need to stress over sleep. Just find yourself into routines that get you into a point where sleeping is comfortable for you. You've got the right room temperature for it, so you're therefore not either cold or too warm. And then just find maybe a little. I can do crossword puzzle before sleep or word searches. Within 10 minutes, I'm done. I do not watch television in bed. I learned that years ago, and no TV. The worst thing I ever did was watching Yankee games in bed. And worse yet is if they lost, it was a tough night getting to sleep. And so, and I do not watch New York Giants Monday night football games to the end. What do I do with both of those? I tape them, check the score in the morning, and then I will go back and watch the game. Do not want to go to bed stressed, so we don't want to have that. Social engagement, we continue to emphasize the importance of social engagement and how active we need to be. So having a network of family and friends is one of the most healthy, life-giving aspects of getting older. And I know I've talked to a lot of people, especially those, they recommend that a lot of people do not move into senior communities, senior onlys, because what happens in senior communities is people begin to die and your social network begins to die off. And the next thing you think and do is you jump yourself into the queue and just wait for your turn, as opposed to living and enjoying life every single day and taking each day's gifts and doing something positive with them. So where you live and how you socialize, and COVID doesn't help with this. So I encourage people, I say, find a window where you can see people walking by, or find the window where you watch trees with birds and squirrels in and off the trees. Get out to nature, get this, find something. But what we want to have is some form of engagement where you're outside your residence, you're outside your domain. And I see too many people, especially kids, feel like they've been locked down. And I am not one to stay locked in a house for a 24-hour cycle. Even if I get out and walk up and down the driveway, put the garbage out, bring it to the curb, do whatever it takes just to get out of the house, if it's even 15 minutes or half an hour every day. I cannot stay in a house for 24 hours and not get out of it. This is part of the social engagement aspects of what we all need to have some aspect to. And then we think of it this way as, gee, at my age, why do I have a purpose? The answer is we all have some reason for being here. And what we all need to do at times is find what our present priorities are and why we're here. And in cases as we get older, maybe it's our grandchildren, maybe it's a family member that needs our help, maybe it's a friend that we can benefit by, and maybe there are skills that we can teach to schools or churches or social groups of people. I mean, I can't tell you how many rec centers now we have in Florida where people meet and gather. I'm going to be doing several presentations over the next month to social groups of people that just meet, in the middle of the day because they want to be social. And I say, you know what? I love to teach. So I'm signed up to do several sessions over the next month where I'll be teaching people some of the things that I've learned over my years that I am passionate about, that I'm excited to teach, and hopefully make a difference in some of the lives of the people that I'll touch over the next month. And then last but not least, this is a good one. Music. Keep singing. And whether you sing well or not, do your karaoke in the shower, do it in the living room, do it, if nobody else is around. But music is more important than ever. It helps people relive favorite times of their past, their favorite songs. And I know on my Sirius radio, we've got 50s and 60s and 70s. We have current music, which I have no clue what half of it is. But the fact that it is, research shows that it helps to even sing along with the song to some level. And when we are able to sing, our hearts then begin to sink and eyes up. So those are some of my tips that I'm getting from this Supercharge Your Brain magazine article. I love it. It's fantastic. I've enjoyed reading it so far, and I've got more to come. Now, here's the good or the bad news is I will not be on tomorrow, which is Thursday, not my normal day, but my normal day is Friday. I will be with Karen out in the Poconos of Pennsylvania on Thursday, Friday this week. So not likely to be back on Friday. If all goes well and I'm back in my New York residence on Saturday, I'll pick it up and do a session on Saturday. Hope all is well in your life. Thank you for your prayers, and thank you for the empathies and sympathies that people have offered. It has been a tough trip to New York this time around, but Karen is doing well. I'm blessed to have a daughter who's got her feet grounded and goes through the heart and the hurt and has found somebody in her life that's made a world of difference. And we all know we'll miss Ed from all aspects of life because he was just such a dominant, positive influence in so many different ways. With that, keep your prayers coming, and we'll see you by Saturday if all goes well. If not, I'll be back on. I will not be back on Monday. I will be on my way back to Florida, so it'll be a little bit of a pause if I'm not back out on Saturday, and so that will make it more important that I get on over the weekend. Take care, and we'll see you soon.